get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for everyone who has gathered here today and for your protection of these employees who work in service to you every day. Please continue to guide and protect us in the weeks and months ahead, and please bless our campus. Amen.
Amen.
So I have just a brief announcement today. I don't know how many of you remember, but last summer, out of strategic planning was determined the need for development for staff specifically. Faculty have budgets and conferences that they can go to, but a lot of staff do not. So out of that came a staff development committee. And as we were considering how to move forward with this, Luann Davis found an endowed fund that actually had about $7,500 in it that we could use for this purpose. So we moved forward with that. And I am happy to announce today that we have now depleted that fund, which I'm excited about because I did not want it just to sit there unused. So what I'm going to report to you today are some of the ways that that fund has been used. And it has funded a graduate class for an employee, an emotional intelligence summit for an employee out of student success, a conference, and numerous other certifications, including some for plant services, which is necessary for them to do their jobs. So funds will be available again next fall, so watch for an announcement and for a call for applications. It is a first come, first served basis, so I'd urge you, if you have something planned for the year, get your applications in early. So, now I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Michalenko, and I asked him, how should I introduce you, Kevin? And he said, just make the statement, we are a customer service institution that educates students. So here we go, Kevin.
Never had the opportunity to stand back here before, so this is kind of a stretch for me. Like most good work in Adventist institutions, this presentation started with a mission, was refined through collaboration, and survived committee feedback. So today we're going to talk about hospitality and why it is important in what we do every day. And small details and the warm handoff make an impression on people. If you haven't read this book, I recommend it. I have many different places to read. It's a very valuable book, and it gives you a different perspective on hospitality, and primarily that hospitality is intentional. So some of the themes, we already talked about intentionality. Small actions can have a big impact and create memorable experiences. Planning and execution are really important and are the foundations of success. Believe it or not, there was a lot of planning around this. Hopefully it's a memorable experience as you walked in. The look on your faces was pretty good. Weren't expecting that. A strategic and meticulous investment in details can be extremely valuable. Culture, high standards, and continuous improvement define customer service. And students are central to our mission here. It reflects our faith, values, and educational purpose. So said another way, small actions, perfect execution, create unforgettable experiences. So even details matter in sporting teams. They're very, very important. Leicester City was a Premier League football team that had been promoted in 2014 to the Premier League. And in 2015-2016, they won the Premier League championship as a 5,000 to 1 underdog. They had a payroll that was roughly 1/3 of the bigger clubs. As an example, Manchester United had a $241 million payroll, and Leicester City's payroll was $80 million. Of interest, as the season progressed, there actually were hundreds of fans who had placed bets on Leicester City to win. And as the season rolled into January and February, the sports establishment, the betting establishments were so worried that they started reaching out to customers, can we settle before the season end? just in case. We'll pay you off less, and some did that, but at the end of the day, the bettors in England lost over $25 million on Leicester City winning the title. When they looked at what they did that year, they found that really small details in the strategic plan for the players paid off immensely. So this is Leicester City winning the championship. If you win the Premier League championship, it's considered one of the highest honors in football. Would you agree with that, Santi?
Oh, yeah.
So they focused on small details. They had defined roles, consistency, and execution, and they found that that can outperform flash and bigger budgets. They had a simple strategy that led to tactical success on the field, and they embraced their limitations, and they unleashed a level of creativity that stunned the Premier League and its wealthier clubs. Now, as I shift gears into what we do here at Union, these are some bullet points. I'm new to education. I'll be here 5 years in August, but these are kind of the things I've experienced in my time talking to students and parents. Adventist families are increasingly consumers of education. They want value, transparency, and a return on their investment. The parents and the students are looking at the time to their degree, the total cost, and their outcomes. They want efficient, flexible pathways to complete. And I think we need to all realize as an institution that enrollment growth is going to be a persistent annual challenge for us. So we need to be proactively thinking of ways to bring students to campus. We also have a lot fewer Adventist Academy students to recruit. We have to clearly think about how we are different from our competition, and we need to thoughtfully extend our reach into non-traditional markets. For example, we're working with Incura. We buy names of Adventist students in public schools, and that is a way for us to market to them because we don't go to a lot of the public schools where our students are attending. So to give you some perspective, this is the enrollment in undergraduate Adventist schools in North America from 2012 to 2025, the fall snapshot. So in the last 14 years, we have lost 28% of Adventist students overall. So there's 5,700 less students in 2025 than there was in 2012. That's just the reality. We've experienced that at Union, and a lot of our sister institutions are experiencing the same thing. This is freshmen. Whoops, something happened here. All of my numbers have gone. Sorry about that. But this is the first time or freshman attendance, and it has gone down 23% over the last 14 years. In this slide here, the one on the left, it's not showing it, but this is the number of applications that we have taken since 2015. And on the right-hand side is our transfer freshman enrollment for the last 11 years. And as you can see, our applications have been declining, and our enrollment was also declining for students in the transfer freshman category, although the last 2 years we've seen an uptick. So every fall semester after the students have been counted, we get together as a team and we think about what could we do differently, what do we need to do differently, what worked, what didn't work. And one of the things we have done in the last 2 years is we have moved our engagement from event-based to experience-driven events with complete redesign of preview days and our visit program. Carla is doing a tremendous job making sure that the details are taken care of. And you can see that we've got Music Fest coming on Thursday. We have sports basketball tournament next week. And Carla is the tip of the spear when it comes to that. She's very organized, and very welcoming. You can see what the team has done here. Hopefully this is memorable in a good way, not a bad way. So we've moved to mobile texting as our primary form of communication because the most important thing in a teenager's life right now is the phone. We focused on melt, and melt was the second lowest that we've measured since 2014, this past fall. We've increased our access and convenience through Zoom sessions. That was Angela's idea, and for the Zoom sessions we held last spring, we had 3 of them, we averaged over 80 people, students and families, coming into those Zoom sessions, asking questions about financial aid, student success, and residential life. Highly, highly successful. And then we are also integrating more and more technology with Salesforce and texting. And that has increased the communication levels, and it's out there very easy, very simple for us to deploy emails and text messages. It's all in the same platform. So what if the warm handoff evolved beyond a traditional exchange into a student-centered, innovation-focused model that deploys technology, personal connections, process improvements to simplify the student experience, increase engagement, and eliminate barriers throughout the journey? So that's kind of the thesis of this, is we have barriers out there. We want to remove as many barriers as we can. Now let me introduce you to Jim Moyland. He was a Ford engineer model. And how many of you have ever pulled up into a gas pump and the gas tank is on the wrong side? You have to back up, turn around. This was an incident where Jim Moylan had to go to a meeting. He popped in one of Ford's cars. It's pouring rain. He pulls in. There's no awning to get gas. He's soaking wet, and he pulled up on the wrong side. So he had to get back in the car, back up, and get on the right side. He's soaking wet, goes to the meeting, comes back, and he writes a memo to the interior design manager and says, I want to institute something into the instrument panel that will help our customers identify which side the gas tank is on, or the fill side. So that was implemented in 1989. So he had this idea in 1986, and in the auto industry, it takes a while for things to go through the production line. So let me introduce you to the Moylan Arrow. How many of you knew that that was an intentional design? Pretty clever. As somebody who has rented 10 cars since September, I have to rely on that arrow every single time I turn it back into the rental car agency, because it tells me where I need to go for filling up the tank. And the interesting thing about this is Jim was trying to solve a small recurring problem for drivers who drove Ford vehicles. His solution was based on his experience in the pouring rain and having to fill, and he pulled in on the wrong side. It was intuitive, simple, it was a useful enhancement, and it shows that innovation in support of customer experience does not need to be complex or disruptive. A very simple arrow. So, in Adventist education, we are all called to serve, and like the Moylan Arrow, our greatest impact often comes from very small, subtle, faithful acts that mentor students spiritually, academically, and personally. It's a simple little thing. Now, while we serve our students well in many different areas, we do have some areas that we should work on as an institution. Our commitment should be focused on blind spots, increasing departmental accessibility, and raising the bar for customer service across all of the touch points on campus. This is Kevin's perspective now. Unions' customer service challenges are largely a result of something that has gone bad, in other words, reactive. I believe that we have an opportunity to strengthen our proactive awareness so issues are addressed prior to becoming something big. We're here to serve union students and bring out the best for them. And here's the tough part. This was the second week of school starting in August. It was chaotic like it always is. And I got a message to call. This is it. And I called a mother who has a student here. She is a extremely high caliber academic student who'll probably go to medical school. I didn't know what the issue was, so I called. And this was a gut punch. The mother told me in no uncertain terms that she regretted sending her daughter to Union over what was happening. The hard part for me was I couldn't fix it. There was nothing I could do. It was a self-inflicted incident that I apologized profusely for, but that didn't cut it to the mother. And at the risk of being vulnerable right now, I told my team as a result of that, I was going to resign. It was that. I've had tough conversations with customers before, but that was the toughest, most brutal, harsh thing that can be said to somebody who works at an institution like Union. And they said they regretted sending their daughter here. That was a tough pill to swallow, and I didn't know how to handle it. I've got pretty thick skin. I worked in the corporate world for 25 years before coming to Union, and I've dealt with difficult customers before, but nothing like this. It was an awful, awful phone call. And the hard part was I couldn't fix it. And here's the challenge in today's world. If you have one bad experience, you can put it out on the internet and it can destroy people, it can destroy companies. And this one was really, really tough. I had to sit down with Ryan and process a lot of this information because I value the people here. And I know it wasn't something we did, but it was still hard to hear those words from a parent. So this is why warm handoffs matter. So I've mapped out here just a very generic process of students. And I will say that if you work at Union and you have one of your children coming here, you get to go through this journey as a parent. And it starts with the visit all the way through the application, through the move-in, spark start, and classes begin. And I probably missed some departments here, but I wanted to map out all the different areas on campus that have touch points. And some of these touch points are in front of the student or active with the student, and some are kind of behind the scenes. But every department here, I can't think of any, I may have missed one or two, things like the bookstore, enrollment, information systems, finance, marketing. We all play a role in customer service with these students that come here. So speaking of differentiators, this is how we make a difference with our customer service and with our differentiators compared to our competition. It's our people, it's our hospitality, it's our spiritual atmosphere, it's our culture of academic excellence, our size. It's a competitive advantage. We know students by their first name here at Union. We go above and beyond to bring students and families. I don't know how many trips we make to the airport, but we do a lot of that because it's right for the students. We have a legacy of caring for students. We have a sense of a community, and we have a lot of brilliant creative minds. And I asked Carla to kind of show us kind of the things that she's been doing when we have visitors on our campus. And with Music Fest coming up, I want her to kind of show you the kind of details, little things that make a difference for our guests when they come here.
So just hold the mic for me. So this example is what the music festival, the tournament people all get. So this is think this must be CVA. So they get their shirts, their lanyards that are divided up male to female. They get a clipboard with all of their stuff that they're gonna need and a roster because students forget their shirt size. So this is something, and it's very similar for tournaments as well. And then this is something that goes to each student for preview days. So I just used Kevin's tag here. And so in here is their t-shirt, it's some snacks. We keep them busy on preview days, so they wear this backpack because they're on the go. So this is a preview day event. And then this is the individual visit. So they get a pictorial directory schedule thing, so they know who to meet. And then in here is their popcorn, their shirt, and then their department information, financial aid, all that kind of stuff. Stickers that they can then take home to their parents.
Thank you, Carla. She does a magnificent job. And it's the little details, like a clipboard for the sponsor that's coming with the roster of their students and a schedule, so they know exactly what to do, where to go, and at what time. Let me introduce you to Caitlin Dolman. She's a pre-nursing major from Oklahoma. She went to Oklahoma Academy. Both of her parents attended Southwestern, and her journey to Union started at Acrofest in 2022. So when I say that years of work go into these relationships with students, in Caitlin's experience, it started almost 4 years ago. 3.5 years ago. The following summer, she came here with her family. She attended preview days last year, and she had free tuition at Tulsa Community College. She also was considering Oklahoma State University, Southern, and as a kid growing up, she was intent on going to Southwestern like her parents. But for her, the differentiators in her decision were the small size of Union, the nursing program, the spiritual atmosphere. Scholarships played a big role. She had the same scholarship at Union she did at Southwestern, and at Southern it was half the amount of the scholarship as Union's. She enjoys the hospitality here on campus. She said at Acrofest they would walk into Reese Hall and people would say hello to them and talk to them as they were walking through. And then the sense of community. She's on one arm of Reese, and there's multiple pre-nursing students there. They get together every single night and study together collectively, creating a community. And she loves it here. She's having an amazing experience. But again, this relationship started all the way back in October of 2022. Carla, you were at that Acrofest too. And that's the challenge we have, is we're talking about multiple years. We're talking about opportunities to show union to students and families. And it's important. And I appreciate every department here today. I have heard many families, parents, particularly dads, who say, man, your facilities are just stunning. They're clean, they're well maintained. When we go to other schools, they're not the same. We have information systems here, we have faculty. We appreciate the collective hospitality. It's not just enrollment, it's all of us. And we appreciate that. You make our jobs easier when we have visitors on campus. And we're excited that Music Fest starts on Thursday. And it's an opportunity for people, staff, faculty to meet, greet, and help students as they arrive on campus. It's a big event for us. It's a really big event. So in closing, we are a faith-based customer service institution that is committed to educating, serving, and empowering degree-seeking students as they prepare to enter the workforce. And I wanted to kind of point out one little thing in this presentation. Maybe you didn't notice it. I capitalized student. or students, out of dignity and respect to every guest and student who's on this campus. That's important. It shows that we care about them. It's not a transaction. A student is not a transaction. It is a relationship. And I like to personally capitalize students. That's my perspective. I'm not saying we should do that, but I think it's an important thing that students are the lifeblood of why we're here. Students are the lifeblood of this institution, and we all work collectively to bring students to Union and to grow our enrollment. And I'm confident that our differentiators, our people, will make a difference for fall 2026. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. If you have yet to receive a copy of our book, I'll be in the back. It's free, so pick one up on your way out. And also wanted to remind you that our next session, it's a bonus session, February 17th, 4:15 to 5:15. We have Wendy Newmeyer from Advent Health that will be visiting us. So I hope all of you can make it. We'll send out calendar invite if that hasn't been done. And we hope that all of you can join us. Thank you for being here today.